Well, this is not a bad way to start a morning, folks. I'm out this morning with Steve Johnson from St. John via North Carolina. We're right here in the heart of Woodstock, third cast.
We got another one.
Oh, we got a double header. Steve's got one on it back as well. So 5 minutes and here we go. So mine's on a jackall re-range, and Steve's at the back going exactly the opposite direction with the grub on the bottom. Oh, look at that. Now there's a big problem there, whatever happened there.
That's a very nice start. That looks like what, about 1.5 pounds?
Yeah, nice smallmouth bass.
Very healthy.
Yeah. Nice fish.
Very active too.
Not bad on your first cast.
No, that's that's the way you start a day. Beautiful day. It's going to be a great day.
You know what they say about catching a fish on your first cast, so it just messes you right up for the whole day.
Well, let's see if we can break that jinx today.
I don't believe in the jinx.
This particular bait was made by a friend of mine up here, but it's a double-tailed grub. Most grubs have only got one tail. This one has two, and you get twice the action. And I caught a 27-pound catfish on one of these back at home. And same color. This is just my go-to lure with bass or crappie. They hold it longer than they do a regular grub. And even back in the South, there's a saying that a blind hog will find an acorn every now and then. Well, this is the deal.
When you throw way in on this part, especially till we get past that boulder, there's a lot of chunk rock on the bottom in there. So that Texas rig Senko is a good one when you get in tight. But we'll start out here first.
I got a little smallmouth, I think. I don't know if he's as big as that other one or not. And then again, he may be.
It's always hard to tell when you're holding a different fishing rod. He's giving an account of himself.
Now this is fishing.
Yeah.
This is a good fish.
Yeah, if he's a real good one, we'll get a net on him.
I'll promise you, he's bigger than that other one.
Yeah. We need some still pictures for the website.
He feels like a ton. Oh, so there's nothing like smallies. I love them. What a smallie.
And he's in.
That is a nice smallmouth. That ain't the biggest smallmouth I've ever caught up here. What would he weigh, Rick?
Probably 2 1/4. He's not real super long.
That'd be a good tournament fish, wouldn't it?
That's about the size I started with the other day.
He hit that like a ton of bricks.
Yeah. I'm gonna just get a quick picture with the phone.
This is the biggest smallie I ever caught in New Brunswick since I've been up here.
Okay, you can let that go now.
Okay. It hit like a ton of bricks. It's hard to describe the bite of a smallmouth. Just a 2.5 pound fish feels like it might weigh 10 pounds when it hits, and when they get a full head of steam up, they're just so fun to catch.
Hey Steve, seeing as we just met this morning, why don't you tell me and share with the folks on TV a little bit about how you get into fishing and where you grew up?
I grew up in Germantown, North Carolina, which is had a population then of about 100 people. Didn't even have a stoplight in town. And I've been fishing. I'll be 70 years old in November. And the first time I ever picked up, my grandfather and grandmother started me fishing in a small creek behind the house when I was 3 years old. I was fishing with a cane pole, and that's when I started fishing when I was 3. And I've been hooked ever since I was 3. Got one, Rick?
I had one. He departed right on the bank too, Steve. Oh, he's still there. He ran out. I thought he was gone there. Pro fisherman at work. Look at that. Doesn't even know he's got a fish.
That rascal.
He charged the boat so hard I thought
when
he
they
was
jump
gone.
way out there like that.
I'll tell you one thing. When you're moving the boat, she's cold this morning, but once you get stopped, it's an absolutely gorgeous morning.
It is absolutely beautiful. There's no wind. Nice fish, Rick.
And up he comes.
That's another tournament fish.
Yeah. 1 point in him out of all that. That's a hard angle, boys, with that sun. Nice one. Beautiful colors.
Rick, how big is that fish? 2 3/4 maybe. Oh, he had
He's
to
not
be
quite 3.
He had to be bigger than mine.
Of course.
Didn't he? Another little smallie. Oh, look at him. He's a beauty.
So here we are, half an hour into the day, and my guest has already got me down 3-1.
No offense, Rick. No offense. Oh, I love to catch these fish. They're so fun. Beautiful little smallmouth bass. I'd say probably 3/4 of a pound, maybe close to a pound. Some fun. He jumped about at least 4 or 5 times, and they're just so fun to catch. They're just a super fish, and I really hope the smallmouth bass thrives in New Brunswick for years and years and years. You was right about this spot, Rick. It's really paying off so far.
Charging the boat.
Oh, that's a nice fish,
Well,
Rick.
he doesn't feel like he's big. This is a light, no, he's not.
He thinks he's
This
big.
is a lighter rod. I'm using a drop shot rod, so it's a little on the lighter side.
What do you mean by drop shot?
That's the setup on a drop shot, Steve. So the sinker's on the bottom, the
Oh,
bait
yeah.
and the hook are up there. And the idea is to keep enough tension on the line so when you put it down, and it's almost like a backwards Carolina rig. Instead of dragging the thing along the bottom, you're trying to keep the sinker in contact. Hey, little fella.
He's a little fella, but he's a fish.
Yep.
Oh, it's a good rod. I like the feel. It's really got.
We'll get you a big one on that rod, you'll really know it.
It's unbelievable how these little fish fight. Even a small one like that. Come here, little guy. You're right, Rick. These little hooks do the trick.
Oh, they stick them, yeah.
Got him right in the corner of the mouth. Beautiful little smallie, probably, I don't know, 3/4 of a pound maybe.
Yeah, probably about 6 years old.
A lot of fun. He jumped like he thought he was a 5.
They all think they're 5.
It'll be 5 when I get home. Tell my wife. I really like this drop shot technique y'all use up here. It's just slightly different than what we used to use down south, but you can really feel that when you pull it across the bottom, you really got more feel to actually when the fish hits the lure.
Yeah, the nice thing about what we're doing with the drop shot is a lot of folks think of it as a strictly vertical presentation where you're sitting over deep water fish and you're just dropping it down vertically. But what we're doing is we've got a little heavier weight. We're in 15 feet of water right now when we're about 40 feet offshore. So we're just gradually keeping the line tight and slow reeling and just walking that sinker down the bank. And there we got rudely interrupted, see, while we were doing that.
Nice. Come on now, jump. Uh-oh, that may be a good fish.
No, he's just okay. You can tell if you get a 3-pounder, you're going to know it. They just, I just say to Philip, these guys got no shoulders. They pull hard, but they don't have the shoulders to really do it to you. This guy's about 14 inches maybe.
I love to see him boil.
Yeah, come here. There. There he goes. None the worse for the wear. Means that I just did it and got another fish
Another
on.
good fish.
And just walking that sinker down the bank, and catching them inside and outside. There's a nice little fish here too. Oh, he threw my Senko away. Yeah, there he is. These are nice, healthy fish.
These are nice.
Saturday in the tournament, these would have helped us on the lower river because we kept a 13-inch fish, and the other ones weren't much bigger.
You can tell exactly. You know, sometimes you mistake a boulder or something that it hits for a bite, and this way, there's no mistaking. When you get a bite, you know it. My grandpa would take me every time he got the chance to take me in the creek and catch small, just small little ones, and but that was just like giants to me. It was so much fun learning, you know, from your grandparents.
So the fish seem to be out a little deeper because I'm getting them out further. This guy feels better.
This is why they call some people pros.
Well, I'm not a pro. I just got some time on the water. And he's not that big either. He just thinks he is. Threw my bait away, dirty dog. All right, just a little chunk. Another 7 or 8 years, he might weigh 4 pounds.
Boy, he hit it like a freight train.
I saw the rod tip just bend right over.
Oh, look at that water boil. Oh, what a beautiful fish.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't think I've ever seen many fish that weren't.
No, that's right. If they're pulling on the end of the line, they're beautiful fish.
Oh, yeah.
A jumper too. I was teasing you, Steve, but he's actually bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah, he's bigger than I thought he was, too.
Yeah, when I first saw him, I thought he was one of these 7-inch guys. That explains why he bent that rod over. He's actually quite a bit bigger.
That may be the biggest one I've caught today.
No, you've had bigger, I think. I'd have to see him, but...
You think it'd be all right to lift him, Rick?
I'd let a little more line off the end before I lift him with the rod. I got one too, right under the boat, or we can net him. Here, I can probably net him. Just swing him this way. You got him. Here we go.
Doubles, I love it.
This guy I saw him on the Lawrence and just dropped right straight down on his head.
This is what it's all about. This is why you come to Canada, to catch fish like this.
One. There we go. Yep. They're not monsters, but they're fun. And we'll get some monsters before we're done.
That is a New Brunswick smallmouth. If you don't love it, you're not a fisherman.
Yeah. They don't love it, they can stay away and leave them for us.
Exactly. Just leave them for us. Beautiful fish.
Well, I saw this guy on the Lawrence and I just dropped vertical right beside the trolling motor. We have no wind this morning and we have no current yet, so the dam is closed. And I just dropped this vertically right beside the trolling motor on him, and he's actually a pretty decent fish.
Oh yes, that's a beauty. That is a beauty.
So that guy was sitting on the bottom, 16 feet of water. Anyway, you come on over here, bud. Yeah, he is actually nice. And I'll turn around this way. No. Yeah, he says not yet.
Good fish.
We're getting up in size a little bit. Now the funny thing about the drop shot, and I tend to use a bigger hook because I think a lot of the times these fish haven't seen a drop shot before, but they haven't become too accustomed to it. But I was losing a lot of fish earlier this year, throwing it and not getting hooks into them. And I actually dropped down to that little wee hook right there from a 2-aught. I mean, that's a tiny hook. I'm a firm believer in premium hooks.
I got a nice little smallie. It's just hard to believe that that fish is probably 3/4 of a pound, and he could actually, if I lost my grip, he could pull a rod out of my hand. They're just so beautiful. So just look Look at the size of that fish and what a fight he put up. That may be close about a pound. What about smallmouth and largemouth as far as structure goes? Do you think smallmouth hold the structure as much as largemouth do?
I think you'll find overall that the largemouth are more weed oriented probably than the smallmouth are, but as far as structure in the water, boulders, trees, things like that, I think they both utilize all of that cover all the time. It's a great ambush spot, you know, to pick prey up because they're an ambush hunter.
From what I found out in the States, of course, we don't have as many lakes in the States where you got a lot of rock formation that holds fish.
Yeah.
But I find that the smallmouth lakes that contain boulders and stuff in the States hold a lot of smallies, and I know that's the case right here.
I think somebody's caught him before.
I love that drop shot. It's unbelievable a fish that small can fight like that. Come here, little boy. Oh, yeah. This is a nice little smallie, again, about a 3/4, I don't know, 3/4 pound, but he sure did like to fight. Beautiful fish, healthy, no marks at all. Beautiful fish. He was out there too, wasn't he, Rick?
This guy's in 14 feet, straight in front of the boat. So it shows you they're in the water column, like from the shore out, because typically right here where we are, and he's not bad. Typically here they're inside, not outside. Consistent size too. Just need to get one. Got to get his mom or his grandma. He's not bad. Whoops. He was on the edge, too heavy. He was on the edge.
Beautiful fish. Putting up a good fight. Oh, yes. That's what it's all about right there. These little fish come out of the water like a tarpon.
Amazing how hard they pull.
There, I got him out. Hallelujah. He didn't swallow it.
No, corner of the mouth, right where he should be.
That's a beautiful smallmouth. That one will probably go a little over a pound, wouldn't you say, Rick?
Yep. Oh, he's over a pound, yep. He's fat.
He is. What a beautiful fish.
He's heading for the middle.
I hope he pulls the boat around.
We had one in the tournament that was dragging the boat. It was funny as heck. He had it straight in for shore and he was pulling the boat along with him.
I got one too.
There we go, another double header. Oh, this is decent. That's mid-2 again. How's yours?
Oh, this one's decent too.
Good. I'll get this one in.
I don't know.
Turn around.
You can't tell till you get them up.
Here we go. There we go.
Yeah, he ate it. Come here, little man.
I'll tell you what, we're up here in Woodstock. Beautiful fall day. The colors and stuff on the trees are outstanding. The weather is much nicer than they forecast today. And although we're not seeing a lot of really huge fish, we are catching a pile of fish. Steve and I have just been putting them in the boat every couple of minutes. One of us has got one on, and this one here this one's actually bigger than I thought it was. So this will rank up there with, if we were fishing a tournament, we would be keeping this one for the time being at least. That's a nice fish. I may even scoop that guy. Oh, there we go. Yes, oh, he's way bigger than I thought he was. So he's just under 18 inches. So that would put him around 212, 214, typically. There you go, sweetie.
Oh, it is. It's nice.
Good one.
It's odd. He looks bigger than some of the rest of them, but
We
he's
got a
not.
double header. Here we go.
Oh, this is a good
Yeah, he's a nice one. Bigger than mine, Steve. He's bigger than mine. Yeah, I'm coming.
That is why they call it fishing.
Yeah. Oh, that is a nice one.
Nice. Right through the top lip, just like
That's
it.
where you want them.
That's bigger than my other big one, ain't it, Rick? Well, that fish weigh 2.5.
Yeah, 2 1/4. You've had a bigger one than that.
Oh man, you gotta give me a break, Rick.
Hey, well, you look at this one and look at yours. You got a break.
There it is. That is what we came today for.
Yep.
That is a beautiful smallmouth, and I gotta thank Rick Greene for this. He has put us on fish today. Thank you very much, Rick.
2 pounds. 2 pounds. That seems to be our number today. Fish says I insulted him. He thinks he's bigger.
He don't know he's 2 pounds.
You don't even think he is? No, he's not 2 pounds even. Right in the roof of the mouth.
It's odd, sometimes the little ones will just hammer it and swallow the bait totally. And the and the big ones, that 2.5 pounder, he just barely touched it.
Yep.
And started swimming with it, and that's how I got him.
Yeah, I think the small ones, they just smash it with everything they got and try and kill it. And the big ones, he just says, hey, breakfast, and he eats it. Like, he doesn't have to worry about it, he just comes and eats it.
This is a nice fish, and he is strong.
Yeah. So the irony of that is you were doing what we were doing earlier. You were throwing in, and I was straight under the boat. So those fish, the depth difference between those fish was probably 10 feet. Oh, that is a nice, that's your big one for the day right there, Steve. That's your big one for the day. And see him, and he's up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's your big one for the day so far.
Thank you. All right, no hooks in the finger. Got him. He is just barely hooked, Rick.
Hey,
Look at
barely
that.
hooked is all it takes.
Beautiful fish.
Yeah, nice.
That's very much like getting your first kiss. You just absolutely, you're dumbfounded.